Hi there. I'm going to continue talking about guru and a life coach. This is in the series. I'm trying to repeat my Russian videos, but this time in English. So today I want to talk about who is a student, a disciple, and this is primarily going to be around what is spiritual pain and what is spiritual desire. Let's talk a little bit about the difference between guru and life coach. They serve different gods. Life coach fundamentally serves ego, the devil, and guru fundamentally serves mystery, God. They do overlap, but here's the thing. Just like an eagle can come down and play with chickens, but a chicken cannot soar up into the sky and play schmooze with eagles. The same way, guru can be an excellent life coach, but so a guru can be a life coach, but a life coach cannot be a guru. Sometimes when someone comes to a guru and they have some residual issues that can be fixed, solved by life coaching, then the guru in question can act and help that person. But here we come to the big fundamental issue here. You see, guru is like a surgeon, and you don't need surgery when you don't have a problem, a big problem. So when you're young, and I mean it of course metaphorically, you will make jokes about surgery. Oh my God, you know, I'm 18 years old. Imagine what will happen if they cut off my left leg. Well, if they cut off your left leg, then the spiritual practice of standing on your left leg and flapping your arms for 2 hours wouldn't work. Same thing until you have true spiritual pain, when you really do need to solve that issue. Having a guru is meaningless, because there's no issue, there's no disease that this particular type of healer can address. So let's talk about spiritual pain and its flip side, spiritual desire. Well, spiritual pain comes when you truly understand that being a human is limiting, having a personality is limiting, having a name, calling yourself an individual is limiting, and you want to break out of these limitations. Now, mind you, this is a really important point. If you have some kind of psychological issues or emotional issues or developmental issues, it may present itself as if you have spiritual pain, but actually what you're trying to do is you're trying to escape from problems that they need to be solved on that level. Spiritual pain, true spiritual pain, is something very much that appears in adults. Again, these adults might have some residual emotional, psychological problems, issues, but they will have this spiritual desire well expressed. Means they will want to find God within themselves, which is another way of saying they want to find freedom from themselves and from society. They want to have free-flowing energy. They want to have a good time on a deeper level than what most people think is good time. Having a wife, lady, a car, a job, lots of children, and an early death from a heart attack from eating too much meat. So, you know, talking about spiritual pain is kind of counterproductive in a way. It helps you to discover it within yourself, But frankly, if it's really truly well expressed, there will be nothing to discover. It's kind of like, having a major disease. It will be really obvious. You'll get really depressed. The meaning in your life will be really gone. You will really not know what to do with your life. Nothing that your ordinary relatives will tell you will help you. And everybody around you, psychologists in particular, will try to treat you with their psychotherapy, and it will fail. It will fail miserably. And everything in your life will just be fine. It's like, it's always funny. It's like someone comes and, they have a good job. They have a good wife, a good husband, and everything is working in their life, kind of, except they're terribly unhappy, because there is no meaning for them anymore in this ordinary thought form, groupthink, consensus reality stuff. And for the soul, which wants to be free, which wants to be infinite, or rather express itself as an infinite being that it is, all of these things are limiting. They're meaningless. And of course, that will produce a tremendous amount of pain. And yeah, you can kill it with drugs, you can kill it with medication, you can kill it with psychotherapy, you can self-talk yourself into oblivion, or you can come to Niagara Falls, not too far from me, and jump off a bridge and have these 5 seconds of glory where you're going to remember most of your life. Not recommended, because it doesn't really solve things that well. But that's the nature of spiritual pain. So when someone discovers spiritual pain within themselves, one interesting thing happens. The question of finding someone who would help them relieve that pain becomes actual. It becomes real. It becomes not so theoretical. And then you will look for someone who can help you with this. Now, how that will happen in the places like United States or Europe, where the society that likes bullshitted themselves with intellectual nonsense. That's why we're so much into lawyers and psychologists and scriptures and stuff like that. And that's understandable. I mean, we spent 2,000 years reading and doing intellectual exercises, and I'm certainly not critical of that for civilizations. I mean, I'm certainly very happy recording this for you on an expensive cell phone rather than living in some cave in the middle of nowhere in some desert, which would be appropriate at another time. But I'm talking about how these things do not help with spiritual pain. They do not help intellectual insights, or for that matter emotional, psychological insights. They do not help with spiritual pain. And in this society we will definitely try to do that. So say someone feels really bad, and in this society in the West, they will not know why they're feeling bad, because in our culture we have really no good references for spiritual pain and spiritual desire and spiritual growth, spiritual path. So where are you going to go? Well, you're going to go to different bookstores, New Age bookstores. You're going to go to a priest. You're going to go to a yoga class, a Reiki, and stuff, etc., like that. And you'll meet a lot of people there who don't really know much about these things, because where would they know? Because they used to be in the same place as you are. And you will very likely become one of them. And the big problem with all of this is that people tend to stop. And this stoppage, this stuck situation, happens for two reasons. One is because they don't really want to go deeper, because they don't really have a reference what depth would be, or they're scared of depth. Or on the other side, they've been trained out of this depth. So there's lots of so-called teachers, life coaches, who will tell you, oh, you have reached very far, this is fantastic. It reminds me of someone I know very well who used to teach music, and because the students wanted to feel like they're studying music, feel like they're being musicians, becoming musicians, rather than actually putting the work that is required into this. So the easiest way out of it is to convince these people that they are doing real work when they're not. And this is what happens in the New Age community around here. How do you like the music, by the way? There's a lot of feel-good places where they'll make you feel good, but God forbid if they're going to create some disturbance in your life so that you could go deeper. If that happens, then there's a tendency to run away, and there's also another tendency to have a peak experience. It's like they'll boil you in a cauldron, to boil out all the words, or they'll take you, put you in a sweat lodge and try to sweat out all your emotional and developmental issues. And this is where we come to probably in this talk, is that spiritual path is a path, and it does involve sometimes jumping off a cliff, but most of the time it's about climbing up to the cliff, and the road is long. And if you don't have patience, turn around, go down, hire a psychologist. If you listened to my ravings up to this point, push the button to subscribe, and you can press that bell thing to get announcements about the videos. Learn Russian, lots of nice videos in Russian. I think they're nice. What else? Have a good day. That's important.